Welcome to this webinar. My name is Helen and I am the Overseas Partnership Coordinator at Hicool. Hicool is an innovation ecosystem that consists of 6 brands and is fully supported by the Beijing government. We are all for startups, and we aim to provide startups with the services that they need here in Beijing. Hicool Global Entrepreneurship Competition, as one of the Hicool brands, is a platform for startups to enter our ecosystem. Next, I will be introducing to you what Hicool is, as well as the policies and regulations for our competition.
This picture here is the picture we took last year, 2021, in our Hicool 2021 Global Entrepreneur Summit, together with the CPC of the Beijing government, as well as the mayor of Beijing, when they were here to greet all our attendees as well as our participants. And let's just directly focus on the Hicool competition itself. Hicool competition, it is a global entrepreneurship competition that is facing towards startups from all around the world that are interested in coming to China, or if you want to open to the Chinese market. Our competition is fully supported by the Beijing government. And apart from lucrative bonuses, we also have the supports. And the bonus itself, we have set 140 winning seats altogether, including 7 first prize winners. Each of them will be receiving 2 million RMB directly from the Beijing government. And the second prize is 21 of them, and each of them receive 1 million RMB in cash, as well as the third prize is 42 of them with 500k RMB in cash, and the remaining 70 winning seats with 200k RMB in cash. Apart from the bonuses, we also have the supports directly by the Beijing government. So the most appealing part is our Beijing household registration, or as some of you might have already known in Chinese, it's called Hicool, and is extremely essential for people to live here in Beijing. So for foreigners, if you're international by yourself, we cannot help you solve the Chinese nationality, but what we can help you is that we can get you a permanent visa, or you can simply understand it as a green card if you are among our 140 winners. And second, we can help you solve your children's education here in Beijing. So for instance, according to the statistics we had previous 2 years, there are many startups that are coming outside of China to Beijing. However, they have family issues, so they have children, and they would like to bring their family all the way from the country to Beijing. And it is a big problem for their children to solve the education, and we can help them in this case. And of course, the health insurance, your entry and exit, as well as the social guarantee and everything. Last but not the least, we can also help you with your specific scientific research equipments. For instance, there are many startups in our competition that they're focusing on this very specific scientific research area that it requires a special equipment for their daily research and everything. However, if by themselves, it's kind of tough for them to bring them all the way from their place to China. But with the help of ours, it will be much easier, and we can help you with all these. For 2022, we have set 7 verticals in our competition, and I would like to also emphasize that the previous 2 competition in 2020 and 2021, we only had 6 of them that are mentioned here: AI, VR, FinTech, New Energy, Information Technology, Cultural Creativity, New Energy, New Material, Energy Conservation, and Environment Protection. And then we have Healthcare, And then we have the high-end equipment. However, what we have opened up one more is agricultural technology as well as food technology. And with this vertical especially, we are now collaborating with South America continent, especially with Apex Brazil, because we want to bring as many Brazilian startups as possible to Beijing, and we can open up and to interact more between the two countries. As for the competition areas, our competition is based in Beijing. However, we are absolutely a very international brand because we have opened up multiple areas around the world. For instance, North America, we have that in the States and Canada. South America, of course, just like I mentioned, Brazil, as well as we are also trying to collaborate with Colombia, Peru, and all these South American countries. Of course, Europe, we have held our area in Germany, France, the UK. And for this year, we are trying to deep dive into more countries from Europe, Oceania, of course, Australia, and we're based in mainland China. We are working with South Africa, and we are also trying to bring as many more African startups as possible. Turning to the Asian continent, we are working with Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan, and South Korea. So for startups, you yourselves, we have set two groups and two stages in this competition. They are namely the overseas group and the local group. So for overseas group, it simply refers to those who have an international background, that they have either studied, worked, or started a business outside of China for more than 1 year. Then they can belong to the overseas group. Of course, with your case, if you are a local Brazilian startup, you absolutely belong to the overseas group. And for the local group, it simply just means those domestic Chinese startups. For instance, they might have never been outside of China. However, their startup, their project, it's also very good. And we strongly encourage them to compete as well. However, they would have to go to the local group to compete with the startups with the same or similar background. As for the stages, we have set two stages. They are the maker stage and the growth stage. The maker stage refers to those who have not yet have a company in Beijing. However, they might or they can have a company outside of Beijing. They can be other Chinese cities or even outside of China. So with your case, if you have already had a startup or a company in Brazil, you can definitely apply to our maker stage if you do not have a company in Beijing yet. But it could also be those who have just established a company in Beijing after January the 1st, 2022. So that is the beginning of this year. So if you have just set up a company or registered a company after January the 1st this year in Beijing, you could also belong to the maker stage. As for the growth stage, it simply means those who have already had a company in Beijing. However, one thing to notice is that there is a specific period of time. It has to be between 2012 January the 1st and 2022 January the 1st within these 10 years. Here is our competition agenda. So for the competition, we have set up several processes. Right now, we are still under the registration period, and the registration we started from the end of last year until this year, April the 30th. So that is the end of April. So for registration, we have in total 4 months altogether to recruit startups from all around the world. And afterwards, we have our online assessment. You can simply understand it as the screening part. And for this, it takes place in May, and that will be entirely online. We have our juries, our judges, to review all the applications and to give them the evaluation, and then to select a certain amount of startups to go to the next stage, which is the preliminary. So from the preliminary round to the final round, we have set offline places in Beijing. However, If you're unable to come to Beijing to do the roadshow, you can also do it online. That is not a problem. And between preliminary and semifinal, that will be between June and August. And afterwards, between August and September, we have saved 1 month this time for startups to do the final round. That is because just in case startups from outside of China that they have successfully entered the final round, they would have to fly to Beijing and do the roadshow offline, and this is required. However, if they flew from other places outside of China, they would have to follow the local requirements to do the quarantine and everything. And altogether, it will approximately take 1 month for them to do all these. That is why we have set this 1 month period. And the final round takes place in September in Beijing. And here is some introduction to the entry qualifications. So basically, we welcome startups or individuals from all around the world to participate in our competition. And I would say that the entry qualification is rather low because first of all, we do not have any requirements on the market value of your startup or any rounds. It could be pre-A or even angel round, or if you do not have any rounds at the moment, however, you think your startup or your project is very good, of course, you can also join in this competition. Feel free to join in this. And this is free of charge. By participating in our competition, there's no fee to charge. And here is some of the information for you, for startups, when you fill in the application on our registration page. So first of all, the basic information we need is your project or startup name, and then your company introduction, your financing status. So if you do not have any financing status, you may just leave it empty, and revenue as well. And then we need your team member information. However, if you declared as an individual, then you may leave it empty. What is the most important is your BP, your business plan, because your BP is what our judges will go through very carefully and to evaluate if your startup or project could enter the next round. So please make sure that your business plan is very clear and, if possible, simple and to the point, because our judges, they will have to review thousands of applications within 2 weeks. That means that they will have to just quickly go through all the applications and they will just have to select highlights. So please make sure your points is simple, however, it can highlight what your project is. Last but not the least, I would like to emphasize that Hicool is not just a competition. Hicool is actually a comprehensive technology platform that is facing towards startups. Like I mentioned, that this competition, we aim to serve startups, but Hicool in general, we also, apart from the competition and the summit, we also have our Hicool online platform, which has the most detailed statistics we've had since Hicool was established in 2020. And then we have our Hicool Industrial Park. It is located here in Beijing. We actually have 2 buildings as our industrial park. And then we have the business college. It is by nature an incubator to serve the startups from our Hicool database to give them mentorship and guidance. And we partner up with top leading universities around the world to invite their professors to give our startups this mentorship, as well as some of our partners, they are top VCs around the world. We invite them to give the practical experienced mentorship to our startups as well. And this is free of charge and right now only exclusive to our startups from Hicool. And then we have our Hicool Fund. This is directly to support the competition and the summit. So for instance, during our competition, if some of our partners, they are VCs and they value your startup, they would like to invest some of it. Our fund would also invest some, of course, not as much as our partners do. And then we have the service manager. The Hicool service manager team is the professional team that is composed of experts that they know the Beijing local policies and how to register a company in Beijing, the taxation, registration, even your IPOs and everything you need to set up a company, from setting up a company until eventually settling down everything here in Beijing. And here, some of you might know that Xiaomi, Sequoia, Hill House Capital, IDG Capital. And that is pretty much it for this introduction to the competition as well as our Hicool platform. And if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your question. You may directly reach out to our competition specialist if you know which field or which vertical you will be applying to.
Thank you for watching and thank you for your time. If you have any questions regarding our competition, please contact our vertical secretaries for more information. Their contacts are on our website. For further details, please visit us at hicool.com. We welcome startups from all over the world to our competition and we wish you the best of luck. We look forward to seeing you in Beijing soon.